Hi there guys, welcome to another review video. Today we're going to be reviewing the Krytac KRISS Vector. I managed to get my hands on one of these at National Airsoft event. It was the last one, along with my friend who bought one as well. So there's a lot to talk about this gun, so let's get straight into it. There really isn't much to talk about the construction of this gun. Pretty much the entire gun is made out of alloy. Krytac have done an amazing job with the construction of this gun. It's really high quality. The weight distribution between the back and the front is amazing. It's pretty much the same. The ergonomics of this weapon are truly amazing, really. It's not front end heavy, as I said, it's not back end heavy. It will literally, if you place it in the middle of the palm of your hand, it will balance, it will not tip to either side. So let's talk about what the gun comes with. So your front and rear iron sight will be detached. These are nice quality polymer sights. It's easy to acquire targets at a distance, they're easy to adjust, and you'll have a variable iron sight at the back where you can switch between what's classed as precision and normal. The gun will come with an additional rail to put on the side. If you want both rails attached, then you'll have to buy another one. The gun by default comes with two mid caps. These are 95 round mid caps. They're pretty good quality, to be honest. My only criticism is the last few, like 4 shots, won't feed into the gun very well. You'll get a lot of dry firing, or they might not feed at all. So you're better off just reloading to the next magazine. To say that the availability of mags at the moment is pretty poor. But I'm assuming when they bring out the next batch there'll be a lot more. If you're running this on a woodland site, you might be at a slight disadvantage. It just depends on the size of it. For CQB, no problem at all. So let's talk about the features of this gun. I'm going to start at the front and make my way to the back of this. This is a fully licensed one-to-one replica of the real steel version. So everything you see on this, whether it's serial numbers and markings, you'd see on the real deal as well. Okay, so we're going to start with the flash hider. So if you want to put a suppressor on, it is a counterclockwise thread, which is pretty standard for most AEGs. To remove the flash hider, there's just a little Allen key which keeps it in place, and then it's a simple twist. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the hop-up unit. The hop-up unit is in a pretty standard place for most AEGs. It's located behind the dust cover. And it's pretty much the same as you would with other AEGs. Again, to reveal it is you find the charging handle and you put it backwards. I don't know if the camera will focus in or not, which it has. You should be able to see some numbers on the dials, which makes it quite easy to adjust on the move, readjust and find a particular place you keep in if you use the same grade munitions. Okay, so the mag release is located on the left side of the gun. If you're gripping it here, it's very easy to remove it. Even if you've got a grip on, you know, it's not really a stretch to pull it out. It drops out so easily. We'll talk about the fire selector now. The fire selector is ambidextrous, unlike the mag release. So you have your pretty standard semi and automatic, and you'll also have a 2-round burst, which you'll see on the real deal. The fire selector is separate to the safety on this, which you wouldn't usually see. So the safety is located just above the pistol grip. So whether you're left or right handed, it's very easy to access with your thumb. Okay, so this is now where I'm going to start criticising the gun a little bit. I know based on the size of this, you know where you're going to put the battery. It's located inside the pistol grip. With wires, you really are limited to what battery you can use in this. You're probably going to have to use a LiPo. There is no other way forward for a high-end rifle like this than a LiPo. Okay, so you have your folding stock as well. It's a little bit stiff when you first get it, but it's it's pretty pointless to me, a folding stock, but it does have a 2-position stock, which it doesn't look. You just loosen these Allen keys here and it shoots out a little bit more, so you haven't really got much options on adjusting the stock. So So I'm going to talk a little bit about the trigger, because it does have an ETU integrated to this, so you can expect the trigger is very formidable with its response time and how much you have to actually pull it back. You literally have to make almost literally no contact with it. It's such a light press and the reset. So with the ETU, it will obviously improve the response time for when you actually pull down the trigger. There'll be like no stage 2 delay or anything like that. Some AEGs have different stage triggers and that. It has quite a nice fire rate. I'm running a 20C 7.4 LiPo, and it still has quite a formidable fire rate, and even on burst it's quite nice. So now we're going to move on and talk a little bit about the internals, because there's actually quite a lot to talk about. So let's talk about the internals of this gun. So there's a lot to talk about, so I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible and just get through to the end of the review. So where to start? So I'd say it's 11.1 LiPo ready out of the box. It's got strengthened gears, which are specially designed. It's got an ETU already and a MOSFET. If you want to know more about what a MOSFET does, you're better off googling it than me explaining, but the ETU, I can give a simple explanation. Basically what the ETU will help do is it regulates the battery, so it helps with protecting the internals and the battery life. Basically with a LiPo, most players know this, but if you drain it completely it won't charge. So with an ETU it will cut that point off when it gets too low, to stop you from draining it completely. And if the battery has a failure, it will protect the internals of the gun. There's a few other things to protect the internals of the gun in this. It has a decocking mechanism. So here I'll show you the safety. So there's a one click just beforehand. That click there is the decocking mechanism. So sometimes you get, when you half pull the trigger, it will wind up but it won't shoot. If it's in this state and you push it into safety, it will decock it and reset it to what it should be, which is quite nice. If you pull this gun apart, which I'm not going to pull it apart in this video, if I do a separate thing I want to know what I'm doing beforehand. It has a window in the gearbox, so you can put lubrication into the gears. You know, you want to lubricate a high-end weapon like this just to increase the life cycle of it, you know, so it being such a high-priced rifle. And the last thing to add, which is really nice, save you taking apart the entire gearbox to get to the spring, it has a quick spring change system, sorry. Which is a nice addition. So if it's too hot for your sight, it's easy to remove the spring, cut a coil, or just change it. You know, there's no faffing around with having to remove the gearbox, pulling it apart. So now I'm going to give my opinion of the gun. Other than the 2 points of criticism that I've given about the mid-cap magazines and the battery space, even though the battery space is the best place to put it, which I understand. So it's not really criticism, it's just I'm annoyed with these high-end AEGs always having a very, very little battery space. When I reviewed the ICS APE, I thought that had bad battery space, and since buying more high-end guns I've noticed that they get worse. But yeah, the Krytac have done a very good job with this, in my opinion. It's got good range. The accuracy of the range is pretty good. You know, it's the easy adjust hop-up system. The mags feed very well until the last few shots, which you can never really get through. It just starts dry firing. It's very comfortable to hold. The pistol grip's comfortable. The shouldering of the stock. It's easy to acquire targets, easy to move it around. It's well ergonomic, so the weight distribution is very good. You know, out of the box, you're not going to get much better than this. So I'd say this is a high 9.5 out of 10, if not 10. If you have the disposable income, or you saved money up and you're looking for another AEG, I would seriously recommend this. You know, forget what you think about it, if you don't like what it looks like, forget about it. It performs solid. You're not going to get much better out of the box. So I'm going to end the review there. I'm going to do a shooting review for this separately. There'll be gameplay at some point when my parts and my zoom camera turn up. But yeah, until then, see you in the next video.